Hi QA folks, let's talk about how can you speed up your UI auto tests. So here are some ideas for you. First one, run your tests in parallel on multiple threads. You'll be surprised that not everyone is running tests simultaneously. A lot of people write and run them still sequentially, one after each other. So develop your tests and by keeping in mind that they should be independent, repeatable, and should be able to run in parallel. Second, replace old hard-coded weights with smart weights. I believe that using hard-coded weights are absolutely fine in the beginning when you start building your test automation, but when your test suite is growing, then you should start replacing all hard-coded weights with smart weights, like waiting for element visibility to be clickable and so on. Next one, move accounts creation and other test data preparation steps from UI to API level in before test method. For example, you can create accounts on API instead of creating it slowly on UI level for each and every test in case your tests are doing that. Next one, sign in. Besides account creation, you can also sign in via API in before test method and then set session cookie in each test in browser instead of signing in from UI. So your test will be starting already logged in. It will also save you a bunch of time as well as account creation. Fifth, replace clicks on UI to go to some particular page using, for example, top level navigation or menu on the top, on the right, on the left, whatever, with opening target page by URL directly. You would still want to have some amount of tests that specifically target navigation, but in case that you have a lot of tests that using those top level navigation, just replace it with opening the pages by direct URLs if your web application supports that. Next one, according to testing pyramid, you can move a bunch of tests from UI to API level, but you should be careful with that because in my experience, a lot of bugs comes from UI. Regardless if everything might work fine on the API level, front-end developers might be using API in the wrong way, like putting incorrect value, parsing values from UI and so on. So you should have a good understanding and balance between those UI and API tests. But again, to test different kind of combinations of input parameters, yeah, you can move a lot of tests from UI to API depending on your project needs. Next one, if you have the same tests running for different roles, for example, if you have 5 different roles in the system, like admin, non-admin, reader, writer, I don't know, run it only for one role, but select this role at the beginning of each test randomly. It can help you, and over time basically you will test, each run will test on different combinations of users. You will be saving time on for every execution, but when you will run it 10 times, for example, eventually you will test all kind of users. This might help. This approach is not suitable for all of the projects, so yeah, think if you can apply it or not, if it will be useful for you. I personally use this approach in my particular project. Next one, run tests in headless browser mode if your tool supports it, but please keep in mind that headless browsers are not exactly the same as browsers that uses UI. So be careful, but yeah, it can help you save memory and time for running your tests. Next one, less retries. If you are using retries in retries mechanism, while running your tests and you're using 3 attempts to try each failed test, try to reduce it to just one. It can save you some time for failed tests and reduce the whole test suite execution. Next one, file fast. If you see multiple simultaneous failures in different tests during test run, that potentially can be a sign of problem with test environment. Then there is no reason to execute all of the tests or more tests. For example, if 30% of all tests are already failed during the automated test execution, stop the execution and mark it as failed. So basically it will give you faster feedback about bad state of test environment. Find a way to stop test execution when a certain threshold of failed tests is exceeded. As I said, it will not speed up, but will give you speed up a feedback loop. And sometimes it's really useful. There are different mechanisms for that depending on the tools, framework, and libraries you are using. For Java, TestNG has embedded mechanism to do that. For Playwright, I guess there are also different way to do that. But just know your tools and what features or capabilities they have. Next one, known only failed tests, meaning that usually, I guess you might be familiar with situation when after test run there are a bunch of failed tests, but everyone knows why they are failed. They want to see them red, and basically they're saying it's fine, those tests always fail. So it shouldn't be like this. It's not normal situation. If the bug is created already in Jira, for example, for those failed tests, why to spend time and make all those failed tests to run during the whole regression test run? You can just mark them as skipped and add a comment in Jira that after this bug will be fixed, please re-enables this or that tests. It will also save you time for your test execution, because always failed tests do nothing but take your time and attention. I'm also using this approach. And the last idea, keep your libraries and test framework up to date. For example, every release of Node.js has performance improvements, and many other libraries and tools as well. So those are my ideas how you can speed up your tests, the UI tests. Not each of them can be applied on your specific project, but it can give you at least some useful ideas how to approach speeding up your tests. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.